Well, here we are in the central plateau of the North Island. What a brisk little campsite last night. It got down to about 6 degrees. Coming up in this multi-part series, today we're taking on the infamous 40-second traverse. I've still got a few vehicle checks to do. Got to check my oils, load my tyre pressures and locked in my hubs, and we're about to go. We've just got to head over that little hill over there. Originally built as a logging road, the 40-second traverse stretches 46 kilometres through the Tongariro National Park. No longer used to haul out native timber, it has become one of New Zealand's most iconic four-wheel drive and overland tracks. Open seasonally to vehicle travel between the 1st of December and the 30th of April. The route can be very unforgiving and challenging due to its remoteness. Therefore a crossing should not be taken lightly, and we strongly recommend a minimum of 2 vehicles per convoy. Proper trip planning and preparation should also be done. Joanna and I are back in our trusted Land Cruiser after it's spent months in the workshop undergoing some serious touring upgrades. Joining us on this expedition from Union Car Spares is Mike in his 2006 Hilux and Scott in his 2015 Hilux. These boys are both from ARB and have brought with them a bunch of their products to test out.
Hey Lars, I'm just going to pull over up here, mate. I'm just going to adjust my BP51 suspension
to cater for the slower speed along this track, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no worries mate, I'll just find a bit of a flat spot and yeah, we'll get you to do that.
Sweet, thanks mate.
So in the Hilux here, I've got what's called the Old Man Emu BP51 suspension by ARB. So I've just pulled over to soften the compression down because these shocks have compression and rebound adjustment. So the compression at the moment is set for road driving. With this track, with the slower pace and the potholes and stuff all through it, just backing it off a little bit to make it a little bit more softer and compliant. It's pretty simple. You just grab the C-spanner and hook it into the little notch that's in the compression adjustment there and spin it till you get it to the setting that's desired.
Got a little bit of a slippery section here.
You alright?
Nope, I think I'm stuck.
Is there anything to winch off around the corner?
No, not really, no.
Drive up to Michael, we might need to land anchor.
Bit of a sloppy section, and instead of wasting time, we've just put the land anchor down and we're just going to winch through this little step up. It's literally just that step. Once I get to here, I should be able to just drive straight through. Although Mike and I both run a rear ARB air locker, you can really see the difference a longer wheelbase makes here. And coming up the back of the convoy is Scott. With a longer wheelbase and front and rear air lockers, this shouldn't be a challenge at all. Good on you, mate.
When I walked into the house, she was standing there in a old white cotton gown. She fell into my arms and cried, and I promised her I'd never leave her side. The fire was blazing in her eyes, getting dizzy off love and cheap red wine. She wrapped me up wearing only a smile, and we were headed for the border in the sweet sunshine.
I think from memory from here, this is where it all starts to make its first long descent down.
First creek dropping.
Okay, yeah, I can see it dropping, and good news ahead of us, it looks like it's clearing up too.
Yeah, I think the descent from memory was a couple of Ks or a K and a half or so. It's fairly long, I know that much.
Got a sign here saying caution, dropout ahead, so I might just walk ahead and have a bit of a look. So it actually looked a bit worse from the cab than here, but it always pays to hop out and have a look if you're not sure. So I'm just going to straddle this and just drive through it, straight over it. Like I said, it looked a bit deeper from the cab, so I thought I was going to drop down a hole. So with this really technical stuff, I've literally just got it low range, first gear, and I'm just letting the truck do the work, letting it idle down the road, and letting it just kind of pick the ruts as much as I can. Sometimes you have to straddle things and things like that, but I'm just letting the car point its way down, putting the rear locker in, just to straighten the car up as well, so those two wheels turning together will straighten up the back and it stops them from sliding sideways a little bit. And sometimes I just need the locker to actually drive myself out of a bit of a hole. So, but all things going well, we're almost down at the river now. So I just had a bit of a look on the topo map, and we're getting pretty close to this river, so what do you say we stop there for lunch?
Yep, sounds like a plan.
Okay mate, it's pretty tight through here, so we'll just kind of push through, I guess. So we've just walked to the bottom of the hill and had a look. The river crossing is really easy, but there's a nice little flat grassy spot, so we're going to pull up there and have a bit of lunch and just assess the rest of the day.
What are we having for lunch?
Probably keep it easy today. We'll just make some nice sandwiches, and we'll save the big cook up. We might make some tacos tomorrow for lunch, and saves us packing all the equipment out.
Right, I've got it on video. If we don't have tacos, I'll be sad.
Parked up beside the river, Joanna and I made some sandwiches. Scott and Mike cooked up some bacon as Tess watched eagerly, hoping some bits were going to be dropped. Having the freedom to go so remote and enjoy the beauty New Zealand has to offer, whilst travelling in the comforts of our vehicles and bringing some of the luxuries from home, this has got to be one of the reasons why we love the overlanding lifestyle. So we all love our little four-legged companions, but what we've found travelling around New Zealand, there's a lot of places where you can't actually bring the dogs along. So it really pays to do a bit of research about where you can take a dog. 40-second traverse, you can actually take a dog as long as you keep them under control all the time, which means keep them on lead or have them well trained so they stay with you. Don't let them wander around. A lot of other places, make sure you contact DOC and apply for a permit. You can actually get a special DOC permit, and then you can take your dogs to a lot of places. But just make sure you clean up after them and keep them around with you and make sure they don't get into anything silly. We've just finished lunch and we're going to carry on. Track's heads off up the hill there again. I've got a few little river crossings to get through. We'll see how far along we get tonight, try and make camp somewhere along the track. We always say tyre pressures is 90% of the game, but this is a perfect example of how low tyre pressures can improve traction and protect your tyres whilst off-road. Yeah, when I was doing the research for this, it's not very well mapped, this track. Even on the topo maps, a lot of it is a foot track, so it's good that we're doing a bit of mapping.
Yeah, there's on my topo maps that I'm running, like there's so many just other tracks around here that it's hard going off of it. You don't actually know what track's what. There's so many T intersections and whatnot going off of what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's right. HEMA's releasing they've got the Aussie Explorer app and for the iPad, and they've got all obviously their maps over in Australia, but they're actually about to release their HEMA Aussie Explorer app and with New Zealand topo maps, which will be awesome to get all the same route planning functions and everything, with the same topo maps we're using, so can't wait for that to come out.
Yeah, well, that will certainly change things a lot for the topo side of things anyway.
Well, looks like we've got another river crossing here.
Just drop me off on the other
Looks
side.
pretty shallow, so I'll just drop into it and head over. I'll give you the word once I'm through. So the best way to enter this is ease into this with caution. Pick your exit, pick your gear, and just slowly idle through. There's some big boulders here and you don't want to do any damage to the inside of your truck. Nice one, Mike. Yeah, I can feel it pouring for traction, and that's it. I am probably sitting there. So the problem here is not really that there's not enough traction. There's quite a bit of rock base underneath here. You can see my leaf springs are literally just sitting on the ground and stopping me from moving. So instead of ripping the track up, we're just going to winch this. Yeah. So it just proves that even when you're travelling in groups, it's always best to go prepared. Lead vehicle should always have a winch on it, especially on tracks like this, because you never know how you're going to get stuck. So we're just going to rig this up. Easy, always put a tree trunk protector around the tree and use one of these on the heavy items. Right, all good up there?
Yep.
Winching. Cool one. Yeah, carry on. Hard luck there, Mike. The front locker really would have helped you out. Looks like it's a job for the winch. We're going to use the Land Cruiser as an anchor. Yeah, ready, Mike. Winch when you're ready. This must be that big washout that you were talking about.
It was all clay where we just about lost the truck off the side of our track.
Going to go around?
Hang on, I'm just going to go for a walk.
Yeah, I think it was just up around here at the track that they were making.
I mean, this was encroaching into the track when we came through.
Yeah.
But this is one. I thought it was closer to that bush area that really is a bit like very over the side.
No, I think it's along the further. I think a radio man guiding us through.
Okay.
This is what worried me getting around. No, whoa! There you go.
So, thing is Mike's trying to back out of here, and you can see these roots there. If he backs over those, he's just going to end up doing a lot of damage underneath his car. So what Scott's doing, we're setting up a snatch block to the tree where Mike is now, and what we're going to do is we're just going to pull the back of his truck sideways with a snatch block, and that way it'll straighten him up and you'll be able to back out and get around those trees without doing any damage. Before rigging up the snatch block, we discussed our options and deemed this tree a suitable anchor point to winch off. No matter how much you discuss and plan a recovery, things don't always go to plan. This situation highlights why no one should ever stand near or in the path of a live winch line. It also shows how vital frontal protection can be on a vehicle. Amazingly, the ARB summit bar on Scott's Hilux took the full brunt of the impact, leaving the rest of the truck scratch-free. After taking a moment to regroup, out came the chainsaw, and the tree was cleared from the track in no time. Due to this tight corner being off camber, slippery and covered in tree roots, it is impossible for Mike to swing wide enough to clear the tree on the right without doing serious panel damage to his passenger side. Not being able to reverse, the only thing left to do is winch the Hilux far enough through the corner so that Mike can eventually turn his truck 180 degrees and back through the remainder of this bypass track.
Whoa! Okay, hard forward. Yep.
Don't go any further back.
Yep.
Don't go any further back.
Winch out! Winch out! Keep going, yep, keep going forward. Winch out! Whoa!
With the Hilux turnaround, the only thing left to do is guide Mike backwards the last 20 metres and rejoin the 42nd traverse. Having spent several hours recovering vehicles and clearing trees, time is no longer on our side, and our hopes of finding a camp before dark are fading away, although a small price to pay as protecting our vehicles whilst on the expedition is a priority.
Because it's literally this stuff in bank.
Yeah, there's just some big rocks in there.
Yeah.
They weren't exposed.
Yeah, that's right. I'll go through that, right? I'd rather
I'm actually going to sit on top until I get here and then drop in.
drop in the air to do that.
I think if you aim at your wheel about here,
Yeah.
because there's plenty of grip,
Yep.
there's no slip.
Yeah.
So as you get down to here, you want to come down to the bottom of here and get over.
Get over, yeah.
Interesting. How they just
Well,
so far over
Pace,
that way.
no brakes or the
Yeah,
slid.
suppose.
What tyres is it on?
I don't know.
If it's on all-terrain greasy tyres, it would have just slid.
what we're talking about here is the washout behind us. At the bottom of the 50-metre slip lies a Nissan Terrano on its roof. To the best of our knowledge, the 5 occupants made it out alive and had a long walk ahead of them. Once again, this highlights just how valuable a spotter can be, and with Mike out in front, we pass by the mangled wreck in no time.
That way.
Okay, there's a bit of a tree down in front of me, so we're going to have to clear this one out of the way. Keeping tracks clear is a vital part of being in the four-wheel drive community. We strongly encourage everyone to do their part in keeping our tracks maintained. Soon enough, day turned to night, and our thoughts wandered to a camp and a cold beer.
Well, you wonder mine's got you laid again, and the dog's barking at your door. You better tell it like don't let 'em in, 'cause you got to go and hit the road. And now a day spinning off is wasted, and if your feet don't move, you sink. You like the way you feel when you walk on the edge, and your body's right near the brink. But cruise on, my
So I'm just going to set up camp. Got most things set up, still got the swag set up, and we're going to get some dinner on. Tacos on the menu tonight, so I've got to get the oven out and chuck those shells in the oven.
Hash browns.
Can you turn your headlamp off then?
We made this box for us purely, well, more for when we go to the South Island at the end of the year. But this is a good trial, see how it goes with the gas cooker on top and then all the utensils and everything in the bottom. It just keeps everything tidy and compact and you're not having hundreds of different boxes floating around in the back.
It's not too late, because of daylight savings it is getting dark earlier, but our call was just to push on and get to the end of the track. We've found a couple of spots where, yeah, you could have maybe pulled over. If you had a rooftop tent, definitely, but you know, they were pretty soggy, and some idiots have been doing donuts on the thing, so it was pretty wet, and we're only a couple of kilometres from the end of the track anyway, so we thought, oh, we might as well carry on and get a good night's sleep. So we camped up right by a river, just over there. You can hear it in the background. It's pretty nice. I think we're going to sleep pretty well tonight. It's been a pretty long day, slogging for about 8 hours getting through there.
One of my favorite parts about camping with this kind of a setup is that we can stop and we can have a real meal at the end of the day. Even if it's been a long, hard day, we've got our oven, we've got our fridge, and we can just eat like real people, and that's probably one of my favorite things about having all of these.
Cheers! Next time on episode 2, we head deep into the back roads of the Central Plateau, exploring remote caves and facing closed roads. Join us for some fantastic camping as we make our way to Wairau. Joined by Dan, we make some great new friends. You are not going to want to miss this. It's one heck of an overland adventure.